everyone, this is Amy. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a fun design using 3 Amagic paintbrushes. I'm using a number 14, a 10, and a 4. These link for these affiliate links will be put down below. If you want to purchase through my links, you're welcome to do so. Number 10, Deerfoot Stippler, and a fine liner by Winstonia. Paints I'm using today are all FolkArt paints, enamels, and multi-surface. I'm using Italian sage, yellow ochre, a mixture of magenta and tea berry, warm white, and violet pansy. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to be using the number 14 brush to get started with, putting one side of the brush into the violet pansy, one side into the warm white, and just doing a real quick blending stroke. I do not spend a whole lot of time on the loading of my brushes, and I know a lot of times people will say, I want to see it. Well, that's pretty much it. I don't do a whole lot of it. Alright, so then I'm going to go ahead, and this is going to be just more of a painted, pointed petal type leaf or petal of the flower. And I just want to kind of just blend that in a little bit more. And I'm just going to go around and keep creating these petals. And I'm going to try to do, this one pulled up the paint here, try to do 3 if I can fit them on here. Not really sure. Because again, I do these on paper, which gives me a whole lot more room. And then I do the design on the bottle. And trust me, when you get into painting, you'll find what's comfortable for you, come up with your own way of doing things. So you might learn the basics, but kind of steer from them a little bit. Alright, so on this stroke, I'm just pushing it down just a little bit, pulling it up to a point, and then pushing it down and coming back down the other side. Very simple. When you're doing this, if you feel like you need to put more paint on it, go ahead and go over it again. You can give it some dry time and go over it again. That's up to you. And you can make these strokes big, little, fat, skinny, however you want to do it. See how relaxing this can be? Just take your time, put on some good music or even some meditation music. That can be good too. And just keep in mind a couple things. Make sure you clean your bottle well before you paint on it. And then when you're done with your painting with this paint, now if you're using a different brand, you really need to pay attention to what the manufacturer instructions are. But for this paint, these are the instructions. Now, when you're done, just allow at least an hour dry time. Air drying your item before you bake it. Always put your item into the oven cool, with the oven being cold. Never put it in with it already heated up. You're going to end up having broken glass. So what I recommend is to add your item to the oven cold, turn on the oven, add your preheat time to the bake time. So for this paint, the bake time is 30 minutes at 350 degrees. I add my 20-minute preheat time to that bake time, so I'm baking my items for about 50 minutes. It's not going to hurt if they bake longer. It's not like they're going to burn or whatnot. I mean, just don't leave them in there for days, but yes. So once the item is done baking, just turn off the oven, allow the oven to cool down. Now, people ask me with the time frame, I would say give it a couple hours. You know, don't be in a rush. And I have taken them out sooner than that before and been fine, but I just recommend just allowing it to cool down, sorry, and then go from there with it. Now, as far as coating these, you don't have to, it's not a requirement. There's no prep as far as coating your glassware with something prior to painting it. There have been paints out on the market in the past that did require, I'm not sure if they're still out on the market now or not, but anyways, this one's kind of a funny shape. But that's alright. So you have to be careful when you're painting over paint because it can lift up. That's why I'm having to be really careful here. So I want to kind of blend this a little bit more, but I don't want to pull the paint up. Alright. Alright. So what I can do at this point is either hit it with the heat gun, which I probably will do, and I'll be right back. If you don't want to hit it with the heat gun, that's fine. You don't have to. But I am going to be painting over this, so I thought I would just do that slightly. The next thing I'm going to do is with the number 10 brush, I'm going to come in here, put the yellow ochre on. I can stick my brush into the warm white a little bit and just keep going with that as I paint. Very simple. You can see here, I'm going to come into the center and then just pull out. Come in the center and pull out. Again, if you want it to be more opaque, add some white to it and just pull out from the center. I don't want it to be transparent, so I'm going to go over it. And just paint out from it. Alright, again, very simple. Pull out. I am going to pull out over this one. And it's not as opaque as I want, so I'm going to go back over it just very lightly. Again, you want to try to keep from pulling up paint from underneath. And you don't, like I said, I'm not counting petals, so if you want everything to be the same, you're welcome to count them, meaning that you have the same amount. That's what I'm saying. I'm not really paying attention to that part right now. And you can move these in different directions, or you can just try to come more straight out from the center. Again, up to you. Alright, so I'm going to let that be. The next thing I'm going to do is take my Deerfoot stippler, put it into this mix here. I actually just wanted one color, but I forgot, and I put the wrong color down. So it's mixed. Okay, so I'm tapping in the center, just keeping them all the same. And then I'm going to go into my warm white a little bit, and then just kind of, now because it's wet, it's going to do this instead of just hitting it nicely, but you can let it dry. You get the gist. Alright, next thing I'm doing, sticking my fine liner into my greens, and I'm just going to come down here. I may need to make it look a little lighter so I can see it. And I'm sorry, I do work underneath my light, so have a tendency to have glare. One thing I probably need to work on is my, where I'm doing my videos. Again, there's not a whole lot of room on this, so you know, I may not be getting quite the look I want, but it's close enough. I can always come out with another little wing here. I don't know, I give things funny names, I'm sorry. I'm sure there's probably a correct name, but this is what I'm going with. You can just do, doesn't have to be even that swirly. Little cues. If you want to put more, that's fine. I'm just going to do it like that. Alright, next thing I'm going to do, take my little brush here, and it's a number 4 again. I'm going to put it into my green mixtures, and I don't necessarily want it to be completely, that's the only thing I have a problem with. It's like I'm trying to work it to where it's not so one-strokey looking, that I have you know, a mixture of colors, but whatever, go with what I can do here, right? And just do different sizes. They don't have to be all the same size. In fact, they're probably more interesting if they're not. Hopefully I'm on the thing here. I'm floating all over the place. Sorry about that. You can come over your flower, of course. If you had a floral arrangement, it's going to all be a mixture. It's not going to all be neatly separated and such. Right? Alright, you're going to have these going in different directions. We're almost done. I appreciate you sticking with me on this. If you have any questions or comments, please place those down below the video. Now, as far as coating, I know I started to mention that you don't have to coat the paint when you get done baking it, or if you air dry it, whatnot. That's up to you. I do add the Mod Podge for dishwasher safe. That's dishwasher safe formula is what I use, and that just gives it an extra coating of protection. Even though you put your paint on thick enough, it's not going to be a problem anyways, especially with a bottle. If you're dealing with glassware that people are going to be drinking out of, you might want to be a little more concerned with that. Okay, on this one I am taking my fine liner, and I'm going to put in the little stems using this brush. And I apologize if I go in front of the screen. I am a lefty. And for us lefties, sometimes it's unavoidable. But I'm just doing it very quick, just very light touch. Just go over it. I kind of like when I have some of these little things showing. And coming out from the actual initial stem. And we're almost done. I promise. you don't like it being more loose like this, then, you know, be, what I want to say, you can be more set in how you're doing it. I just like it to be pretty simple. Alright, and easy. Alright, there you got it. I hope you like this video. If you do, make sure before you leave you give me a big thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe, hit that notification bell, and prior to leaving, if you would, take a moment to share this video on your social network with all your family and friends. I would greatly appreciate it. Until the next time, please stay safe and healthy,